You are listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here as always. And this week, I wanted to share 5 tips for managing stress as a busy mom. I feel like it's a good way to start the year, to start the week, honestly. And instead of being in a position of reactivity, I want us to be on the offensive. And to me, that means getting in the right headspace, getting my mind right. So that's basically what this is going to be about. So whether you're on your walk or cleaning or on your commute, whatever you might be doing, I think this is a really beneficial segment to listen to. So I hope it's beneficial to you. So the first thing out of my 5 tips for managing stress as a busy mom is to identify the sources of your stress. Make a list of the things that are causing you stress. This could include things like taking care of your kids, managing the household, working outside of the home, and maintaining relationships with your partner and other family members. Once you have identified the sources of your stress, you can start to develop strategies for dealing with them. And that's really why I wanted to pick that as the number one point in these 5 tips, is because you don't know what the next step is if you don't know what you're dealing with first. You have to really look at yourself, look at your life, and peel back the layers of the onion to see what's really going on. Where do I stand today? Where do I stand at this point in my life? And so that's why that is the number one point in figuring out how to manage stress as a busy mom. What's actually causing the stress? Okay, so once you have that down, you're going to move on to point number 2, which is develop coping mechanisms. So it's important to find healthy ways to cope with the stress in your life. We all know this. This could include things like exercise, meditation, journaling, or talking to a trusted friend or family member. Exercise, for me, is a particularly effective way to reduce stress because it releases endorphins that help improve your mood and reduce feelings of anxiety. Meditation, also probably my second favorite thing, and journaling can also be useful tools for managing stress because they allow you to take a step back and to clear your mind. I did a TED Talk back in 2019, and that was one of my main points in the talk, was that when you journal, you get everything out of your busy mind, and it comes through your body, through the pen, and onto the page. And it's like you've done this huge brain dump onto the piece of paper, and then you can then breathe. It's like your shoulders relax, and you can really look at what's going on, what's bothering you objectively. You know, it's not like it's happening to you. You're not being harassed by these incessant thoughts. You can look down at the page and think, okay, this is manageable. This isn't as bad as I thought it was, as bad as it was feeling inside of my body. It's out of me now. And it's such a cleansing process. And meditation for me is just really about getting quiet and coming to know who I am. And when you sit in meditation, your body's going to want to get up. Your mind is going to be racing. But it's like you make that decision, like, no, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be with myself, and I'm going to do this for a set amount of time. And when you push past that boundary of wanting to get up and wanting to stop doing that, you really strengthen your mind and your body, and you really come to know yourself in a deeper way. And it's empowering to me. It's when I started to do that consistently, I realized how strong I really was. And you're literally just sitting there with yourself breathing. And as you know, for some people, that's the hardest thing in the world to do, is just to be by themselves and be okay. But to try it, and then you'll see, wow, this is really where peace is found, in these quiet moments with myself, and I'm not afraid to do that. And then you just expand and you grow from there. It's really incredible. Okay, number 3, set boundaries and prioritize your time. As a busy mom, it's important to set boundaries for yourself and your time. This might mean saying no to certain commitments or delegating certain tasks to others. It's also important to prioritize your time and focus on the most important tasks first. By setting boundaries and prioritizing your time, you can ensure that you're not stretched too thin and you have the time to take care of yourself. How many times, especially as women, have we said yes to things that we really didn't want to do And we knew that we didn't want to do it, but we said yes because we didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings, or we felt obligated in some way because they had done a favor for us. Now, normally, I think it's a great thing to help others, to put yourself out there, to extend yourself, and that's all true, but not at the expense of your mental health, not at the expense of you taking the time to take care of yourself when you really need it. And if you're stretched too thin all of the time, what do you really have to give to others? What are you really bringing to the table if you're completely exhausted, you're resentful? I mean, what is the energy then that you're bringing into the room, or to your children or to your spouse? So that's what I really want to hit home with that. It's okay to say no and to have that be it and to not have to explain. This episode is sponsored by Masa. Masa is a fitness company based out of Atlanta, Georgia. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts and recoveries for everyone, new movers and athletes alike, 300 and growing. Podcast listeners can get 30 days free on top of a 14-day trial with the coupon code motherhoodunstressed30. Now, after 44 days, a subscription of just $9.99 per month is available to you. Now, remember, these are workouts that fit every schedule. Whether you have 10, 30, or 60 minutes, you're going to be able to get it in a creative way. And they're actually enjoyable, driven by music and amazing coaching. So if you are someone who has been looking for an extra push, an extra hand to help you up, this is where you want to go. So be sure to download the Masa app on your smartphone and use my code motherhoodunstressed30 to save. Now, I know we all have family members and friends who want to imagine us as we were back when they had more power over us, or when we were lesser than we are now on our road to self-improvement. But the reality is you're not in that place anymore. And just because they want to see you as that person, that doesn't mean that you have to fall in line with that image. You really are creating your own reality every single day. So create a reality where you are empowered and where you create the life that you really love. And you do that by having difficult conversations or by saying no when the old you would have said yes. Okay, number 4, take care of yourself. Now, I know this sounds very obvious and you're like, why are you even including this in the list? But it's important to carve out time for self-care. Whether it's a relaxing bath, a massage, or simply taking a few minutes to sit and relax, these things make big differences in how you look at your life and how you love yourself and how you think about yourself. Now, we all waste time. I am totally guilty of spending 45 minutes on TikTok after my shower and thinking like, what is going on? Where did the time go? But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about investing in yourself. When you schedule a massage or when you schedule time to get your eyes checked or whatever, those are investments in yourself so that you can be the best you can be in the next moment. And so you're not wasting time on social media. You're actively investing in yourself so that you can then show up for the people that you love, for the work that you want to do, for even just giving yourself that space to figure out what your purpose is, what your mission is here in life. That to me is an investment. That is important. That's why it's important to be a little selfish and take some time for some self-care. Okay, number 5, seek support. Don't be afraid to seek support from your partner, family members, friends, or mental health professionals if you're struggling to manage your stress. It's not a shameful thing to admit, I'm not okay right now. That's probably the experience of most people, especially in this day and age, than not. Admitting that you're struggling is not a sign of weakness. It's actually really, really powerful. And when we become vulnerable and we show up as our authentic selves, everyone else has the permission to do that too. It's important to remember that you don't have to do it all on your own. I am so guilty of this. I never want to show any weakness. I never want to ask anyone for help. And it's probably one of the most isolating things that you can do, especially as a mother. We need each other. We need to ask for help. We need to be there for each other. And we can't do that if everyone's in their own little bubble with a facade that everything's great and I'm fine and everything's going well. That's not how life works. Life is messy. Life is real. And when you are honest with yourself first, and then with those who you love or people that you respect, then life gets better. You pass on the load a little bit, and that's how we're going to get through this and be the best that we can be. So surround yourself with a supportive network of people who can help you through the challenging times. It's everything. As a busy mom, it's natural to feel stressed from time to time. But by implementing these strategies, you can learn to manage your stress and take on the challenges of motherhood with confidence and grace. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. And remember to take care of yourself. Your well-being is just as important as the well-being of your family. And when you do these tips, when you assess where you're stressed, when you journal, when you meditate, when you share that you need help with someone that you love, you're creating a space where you are going to be showing up as the best version of yourself. And when you do that, you can truly then give to other people. So that's why I wanted to share this episode at the beginning of the year, because I truly, truly believe that when you take time to journal, to meditate, to figure out where you stand and where you're stressed out and where you need help, then you're going to show up as the best version of yourself, for your family, for your work. And who knows, you might find a totally new passion in life that you were always meant to fulfill, but that until you took that time for yourself, until you took that time to evaluate where you stood, you never would have discovered it. And you would have been blocking yourself off to new levels of joy and bliss and excitement and connection to people in your life, people that you don't even know, you would have never met. So that's why I'm excited to share this with you. I hope it was beneficial. Listen to it as many times as you need to until the message really sinks in. But ultimately, I just want to convey that you are worth it. You are worthy. And no one else can really do this work but you. So be a leader in your own life for your family. And it all starts with you. Thank you for listening. I wish you the best. This episode is sponsored by Mommy Makeup. There's a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Well, it's also the mother of Mommy Makeup. After being a professional makeup artist for over 20 years, Deborah Rubin Roberts had the privilege to work with some of the best brands and talent in the beauty industry. But it was when she became a mom that everything changed, and she developed her own makeup line, Mommy Makeup, clean beauty for busy women. She figured that if she needed cosmetics that were fast and easy to use and gave makeup artists quality results, surely other women did too. And she was right. Everything in Mommy Makeup is talc-free, paraben-free, cruelty-free, non-comedogenic, which just means it won't clog your pores, multitasking, and made in the United States. Now, I love the triple stick. I use it on my lips, my cheeks, and my eyes, and it just knocks out so much time when I'm trying to rush out the door and get to work and still look beautiful and presentable. And one thing that I love about her products is that they really do last all day. So if I'm on set all day, I know I can rely on the lipstick. It's going to stay there and look great the whole entire day. So if you are interested in checking them out for yourself, be sure to take advantage of their free color consultation service, and you get $10 off when you do that. It's just someone walking you through and helping you pick the best colors for you based on a picture of you with no makeup on. And it really does help. It really makes the process that much better. It's a win-win for the company and for you. And be sure, if you do see anything that you love, use my code UNSTRESSED to save. And you can just head over to mommymakeup.com to learn more. This episode is sponsored by Pakli. Pakli means joy in Nahuatl, the language of the Aztecs. It's one of the ancient cultures that revered amaranth. Their founder, Sina Kriti, grew up in Mexico eating alegrías, which also means joy, a snack dating to the 16th century made from puffed amaranth and honey or chocolate. Pakli is her version of the ancient Mexican alegrías. Pakli has puffed amaranth, quinoa, and millet, highly nutritious ancient grains that are also considered superfoods. They mix those grains with high-quality organic ingredients, including chocolates, whole dried fruits, and nuts. There's never any additives, and it's always preservative-free. I love snacking on Pakli with my coffee, but my kids also love it in their lunches or as their morning snack. They always ask for it, and my son Nash loves the dark chocolate, which is vegan. So Packly is geared towards the adventurer food lover that appreciates other cultures and is inquisitive. It brings joy in every bite and will keep you coming for more. And that's something that you don't have to feel guilty about. You're going to be, soothing that sugary sweet tooth, but you're doing it with foods that are packed with nutrition. So if you would like to try out Packly for yourself, head on over to packlyfoods.com. That's PAKTLI foods.com, and be sure to use my code motherhood15 to save 15%.